Hey there, Daryl again. We're going to continue tying a fly for the Louisiana trip. And it's Faulkner's Backcountry Bunny. You know, it's probably very similar, maybe not, but there's things called the Redfish Bunny or the Red Bunny or something like that out there. And we're going to tie it in a color, primarily maybe for the Charleston area here, and for stained water. That and It's going to be kind of black and purple, and which would maybe even work in clear water. It projects a large profile with being black and purple, a larger profile with a lot of action. But you can also tie it in other colors like chartreuse, yellow, maybe black and red, some browns or oranges. It's ideal for redfish and snook in sizes 1 or 1/0. We're going to be tying it in a 1/0. And, maybe even if you're in the Everglades, in the backcountry in the wintertime, maybe a 2/0 for those monster snook that are lurking around the mangroves. So let's take a look at it and check it out. Maybe even a tarpon will take this in the springtime. Who knows? It might be one that looks like one of those worms or whatever it is that you hear about in there. But let's go ahead and we'll take a look at it, and we'll explain the materials as we tie along. All right. This here is Faulkner's Backcountry Bunny, and it's a big fly. I'm tying on a 1/0, and let's go. I'm sure it probably looks more like maybe a crab pattern, a large crab, or I don't know, maybe a bait fish. Who knows what it is? But this is the first time I've tied a fly where the tying instruction says that the overall length of this fly should be 3.5 inches, and on there. So how much for a bunny tail or whatever, I'll explain that as we go along. But this is what it looks like. The hook I'm going to use is a saltwater hook X Point, a Daiichi X472. It's an O'Shaughnessy bend straight hook 3X long. Yeah, why not? Well, let's in there, and of course, I debarb them. I did have somebody comment about one of my videos that they also debarb their saltwater hooks, so I guess I'm not the only one out there that likes to give the fish a chance, or maybe removing our hooks out of ourselves when the wind blows them into us. A lot easier. Or when we hook our buddy when we're fishing. All right. The thread I'm going to use is a black 3/0 or 220 denier, and we'll start this like 1 eye width behind, and we'll take this back to the point of the hook. The first material we're going to tie on will be some black bucktail, and this is primarily for a guard to help prevent the bunny tail and our other materials to from wrapping around the hook band is the only purpose for this. And this one we're going to want it to be just short, right around maybe 3 inches or so. So kind of like, all right, here's mine. And that's pretty close, around 3. And we'll trim off the excess. I have picked it out, and we'll put this right on top of the hook and tie it in just to where the barb used to be. And we'll give it one wrap under there just to stiffen it up a little bit. And then the next material we're going to put on is about 7 or 8 purple crystal flash. And we'll fold that over. It'll give us about 15, 16, 14 to 16. We'll fold that over. And that'll be on the top of the hook, not right or left. The recipe calls it for being on the top. But I don't see why you couldn't do right or left if you wanted to. And we're going to trim that so that they're about, that's about 3.5, because it's supposed to be about the length of the bunny tail. Like I said, it's kind of weird, but it's the way the recipe calls for it. And then we're going to give it a little super glue here. To help lock those in. And next we're going to use is some Magnum black rabbit strips. And before I cut it, I'm just going to go ahead and tie this in. And you're going to find this is a pretty quick tie. And if you didn't want such a longer hook, you could go and we're going to create a little V right here about where the end of that flash is and trim that off. And to reinforce it a little bit, we're going to go ahead and put a little bit more UV here, or not UV, super glue. Next material we're going to use is some purple marabou. It looks blue there, but it's purple. And we're going to use the marabou, actually tie it in as a hackle around the tail. This is the second pattern that I've tied that uses marabou as a hackle. The other one's a big bass fly, but it's not a lot of turns. It's maybe only three full turns. Trim that off. And just so we don't trap any fibers, we're going to go ahead and kind of pull these back while we're wrapping them to loose that. It's one. Two. And three, and I'm just going to go towards the bottom and tie it in down there. And we'll trim that off. And tie it in. Take a little comb. We'll add a little super glue there to tighten that up or reinforce it a little bit, strengthen it, make it indestructible. And since there's no weight on here, this is more of a shallow water style redfish fly or snook. You know, it's probably not sinking to the bottom, maybe with the added weight on there. The next piece of material we're going to use is some Mustad's large purple for the body and head, maybe, I don't know. And we'll tie that in on the top here. And advance it to where our thread started. And then we'll wrap this around the hook shank. Pulling fibers back. I suppose if you wanted to weight it, you could probably do some lead wraps, maybe even a dumbbell eye if you wanted to. I don't know why you couldn't, but I got a few flat flies that I've tied for Louisiana that are got eyes on them, so they'll sink a little bit, but I don't have that many for, let's say, just below the surface or a slow descent in the shallower water. Sometimes that'll just trigger a bite. Cut this off. Clip this. Build up a head. And we'll give it 2 5-turn whip finishes. Put a little UV on that thread. Remove some of those fibers. Almost got carried away there. Almost got carried away. And there you have it, Faulkner's Backcountry Bunny. And you know, it looks like maybe a crabby type thing. Give it a try. Let me know what you think of it on there. All right, there we have it. The Backcountry Bunny, tied up in other colors. Let me know what you think of it. We're going to be trying it for sure. Maybe even maybe tomorrow on the water. I don't know. Anyway, we'll see you on the water and good fishing.